So if the person next to you was an entrepreneur, there's a 50% chance that they won't be in business within 5 years. And there's an 18% chance that they won't make it in business for 2 years. You might be saying, well, Rachel, what are you talking about? Well, here's the problem. A lot of us have improper mindset, lack of proper planning, and poor money management. And I know this because this was me. I was the ultimate problem. I didn't have the right mindset. I thought that all the other businesses that I started were just going to be great overnight. I thought I was going to be a millionaire the next day because my ideas were good, my products were great, and I just couldn't understand why I wasn't a millionaire the next day, right? And then you have lack of proper planning. I want to start a t-shirt business and I just go out and start a business. I forget about my logo. I forget about my business mission. I forget about my business vision and all of these important key components that are essential to building a business. And then there's poor money management, right? So the world runs on money. And if your axis isn't spinning, then what are you doing? You're stagnant. So poor money management was one of the biggest things that I dealt with. And I wasn't able to get funding for my business, for my previous businesses, because I started and failed over 4 businesses, just to tell you a little bit about me. So I'm Rachel with the Rachel Way 123, and my mission is to help people to start and grow their business. My goal is for people who want to start a business, who know nothing about it. I want to introduce them the proper way so that they have an appropriate format and they can learn everything instead of just jumping out on the end thing. I'm starting a business. For those who are in business, I want to help them to sustain their business for longevity. Because a lot of times, like I said, 50% of these businesses don't even make it to 5 years. So I want to help them. And here's how I can do that. Okay, so here's the solution. Mental metamorphosis, starting a business from a seed to the plant, and financial literacy. So before I talk about the products, because we're just going to put those down for a second, Mental Metamorphosis was a book that I created to help entrepreneurs and people who are business-minded alike to learn what it's like to change their mental state or their mental status to be prepared for a growth mindset. Because a lot of times the way people start a business is on a mindset where it's like, oh, they're excited for 2 weeks. And then when that excitement fails, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do this business anymore because I'm not excited. So I teach people about mental metamorphosis of how to stay motivated for a long-term time, because you have to show up for your business every day. And we all know that everything we do starts with our mind. Also, starting a business from a seed to the plant is a blueprint that I created. It's a basic guide to starting business that takes people through 6 phases. So we have the evaluation phase, the developmental phase, things like the financial phase, which are really important basic pieces that people need to be educated on before they actually launch their business. And sometimes you have people who have started a business who have skipped a couple steps in between that may need to come back and learn some of those key components as well. And then you have financial literacy, because without that, let's be truthful, your business cannot run if you don't have appropriate money management. So here is how our business model works. So we have 2 different levels that people can come in on. And the first one is for freshies. These are for people who don't know anything about business, but they have an idea. So they start with Mental Metamorphosis, which is offered as a tangible book or a virtual. We have High on the Hog Financial Progress, which is a book that they can go through to learn about tracking, saving, budgeting, basic financial literacy. They go through starting a business from a seed to the plant. Then we follow up with a business consultation audit. So if they have any questions or any concerns, anything they want to learn about business, we can follow up with a consultation audit. And then finally, they end with mentorship sessions. So as they're going through business and they may have questions or things may come up, they can come back and schedule a Zoom or a phone call session where they can get that mentorship that they need. For pros, these are people who are already in business. They've already newly started, or they've already reached a certain point within their business. These are people who don't need help launching because they've already launched. So they also start at Mental Metamorphosis, because we all know that starting a business, at some points we could lose a little bit of motivation. we might get a little weary with our business. So we need that motivation to keep us going. And then you have the power of networking, because a lot of new business owners do not utilize the power of networking. So we do have a course on that. And then they follow up with a business consultation audit. And then there's an optional section, which is a business expansion strategy call, depending on the type of business that they have. This is something where we get to get intuitive and we try to build strategies and innovation that will help the person expand their company. So if it's a product-based business and they're, for example, I heard somebody say they do health and fitness. Maybe they want to expand into supplements. Maybe they want to expand into fitness gear. So we help them to innovate and bring their business further through the means of expansion. And then these businesses will also follow up with mentorship sessions as well if they need any assistance or anything that they have questions or inquiries or concerns about. And so where does the Rachel Way 1, 2, 3 fall on the scale? So you have companies like Batty Bosch University, which is an online virtual program where any woman entrepreneur can come and take courses and things like that, which I find to be very convenient. Then you have business incubators, cough, cough, choke, choke, because we're probably in right now, that are somewhat affordable, but there are limitations with business incubators, and there's limitations with convenience as it pertains to the Batty Bosch University. So the Rachel Way is all the way up. We strive to be convenient and affordable. This one. Our current marketing approach right now is a combination of paid and organic marketing approaches. So we do use Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, and then we do organic marketing. We do participate in networking. So we go to local networking events. We're here today, and we use a lot of other organic means of growing the business as well. So the ultimate vision right now for the Rachel Way 1, 2, 3 is to help at least 250 people start a business per year and to help 250 businesses stay in business per year. And what do we need to fulfill our vision? So at this time, we are looking for advertisement assistance, distribution resources to build more awareness about the Rachel Way, because nobody knows who the Rachel Way is. And of course, funding for working capital, marketing, and other expenditures that we would use towards promoting and growing the business. Guys, if you need to reach me, I am the Rachel Way on Facebook. My email is therachelway123@gmail.com, and my website is therachelway123.com as well. Yes, that is it. Thank you.
This makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Good.
And but I'd like to know more about like your business model. How do you make money?
Okay.
You know, pricing,
Yes.
things like that.
I can show you. So we actually have several ways the Rachel Way makes money. Currently, yes, we follow the model. Everything is like an individual price. So all of the products that we have, let me see if I can go back on this slide.
Did you write all those books?
I did write all these books. I'm an author, so I wrote my books. Have some around if you guys want, so we can do them and stuff like that. That's fine. So Mental Metamorphosis is our lowest. This is like a $15 book. We have the Power of Networking is $7. These are all, like I said, virtual and tangible. The consultation audit is a little bit higher. That comes in around $100 per hour if they need a consultation. The business expansion strategy call is the same thing. It's $100, same thing for the mentorship session. However, although that's our business model, we do things outside of that. So currently, one of the biggest things that I do is a children's business fair, because I was sponsored by Acton's Academy, and that's one of the biggest money makers for the company at this time. So every few months, or just about every quarter, we host a children's business fair. We allow entrepreneurs ages 6 through 17 to participate and be an entrepreneur for a day. Because a lot of what I've noticed is in the schools, they don't really teach children about entrepreneurship. They say, go to school, get a good education, go to college, and that's the only way out. However, I wanted to be able to give children a taste of what it's like to be an entrepreneur, so they know about the other options that are available to them if they're just not really wanting to do college. They might have their own ideas that they want to get out. So that's one of the biggest money makers we do.
So I have a long list of people that you need to talk to, including myself.
Thank you. Yes.
What's your background and are you self-publishing these books?
I am self-publishing these books. Believe it or not, my background is actually in medical. I've been doing medical for 14 years. I have my master's in healthcare administration, but again, this was something that was kind of placed in my mind as a child, go to school, go to college. And I just thought that that was the right way to go. But I've always had a love for entrepreneurship as a child. I just didn't know how to get into it, but I finally found my way of how to segue, and this is where I am, and I love it.
So how long have you had Rachel?
I've been in business for 8 months, officially as an LLC. Yes,
Particularly in your business model for pros, you have a section on business factoring.
no,
You know what business factoring is?
no.
Basically, with business factoring, this is a very, very important part of business. These are people who buy your accounts receivable. Let's say you get an order for $1 million. I can't fill an order for $1 million. I don't have the money to make it. You go
Right.
to a business factory, they check out who the invoice is from.
Mhm.
They approve them overnight. If it's somebody obviously with credit, they'll give you 80 to 85% upfront, depending on the contract that you make with them.
Mhm.
And then they'll collect from the client and you'll get eventually 97 to 97.5% of what your original invoice from them, and it gives you money to operate with. That just works really well. They can also get you purchase order financing if you don't have that also. So
I like
you
that.
need to, I'll talk to you after.
Yes, please,
Okay.
thank you.
It's a little known, really important part of business that every business needs to be aware of.
Thank you.
Do
I
you
appreciate
provide business factoring?
No, but I know the people. that
I was
do.
about to say, because I provide business factoring.
Oh, you do? Okay. You have another question?
One thing is, have you ever talked to or approached Croons? It's a school in Stanford. They're, it's a school, but they're all about developing young people and.
In entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneur and,
I haven't.
oh, okay, well, I'll.
You can give me the information? Okay.
There's another one here in Winter Park called Meta Humans. On
Metahumans?
at a level.
Okay, you getting all of this? Okay. Cheater. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You ask is really
Thank you.
And these three, they go to me.
Oh,
Bingo.
nice. Thank you. See, marketing again.
There you go.
Yes,
Did I understand you correctly? Did you go into business and sell, and that's why you created this?
correct. I started several businesses prior and we all, yes, that's correct. Yep. Yes.
How do you see scaling your business? How do you grow this?
Well, I see scaling my business. I do plan on actually creating a space myself, like having a space where entrepreneurs can eventually come in. We're still working on planning out how that would really work. I don't want to really call it an incubator either. It would be more of an accelerator, but that's still something that's in the works. It hasn't been actually planned out.
So do you have your systems in place for, I mean, it sounds like an education type of a program, right? You're going through
Certain phases.
phrases
too.
and all that.
Yes.
Is all that in place?
Mhm.
Is that something you can teach others to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how you scale?
I do have a My Money Maximize masterclass that I do. So I do teach people about mental metamorphosis, financial literacy, and starting a business in one. So it is an actual course that I can do live and teach people. Yes, you have a question?
It's your ultimate goal is 250. What happens when you get to 251? What do you do?
Keep going and set a new goals, go higher. Thank you.
That goal becomes
That's-
1,000.
Exactly. That's just the goal for now. Because eventually what I want to do, I have one employee that's part-time right now. I do plan to go ahead and bring more people on. So the more people I have on, the more clients we can take on, and then we can go ahead and up the goal as we obtain more employees. Yes, thank you. That was a good question. You got tons? Okay, so we'll be talking. And I don't know if Josh is on here anywhere, but I want to say thank you to helping me making this presentation. I know Josh is probably very proud because we had several Zoom calls about making the presentation presentable for you all today. And I just want to say thank you everyone for being so warm and welcoming. I had your full attention. That was really awesome. So thank you for having me.
You do have one more question,
Okay.
and that is, what can we as a community do for you?
Honestly, just the conversations. I found networking to be one of the most powerful things. So really, I'm just interested in conversing with many of you, especially if you have people that you want to refer me to or other resources that you need. I feel like that's gonna be the biggest thing that I would love or would be interested in.
Okay, great.
Yes. All right,
All right,
thank you. Thank you. I agree. Wait, one more. Oh, another? Okay. Thank you.
Gotta get all the platforms.
Thank you.
Yeah, here on Instagram, on our Instagram account, Deja does all our photography now. She's like really upping the game. So before it was just me snapping a couple of pictures of the crowd and then the speaker, and it's like, here we are. And then, so like I managed to post a photo of Deja in an action power pose and take a photo. So
Yeah, and she's doing a great job too, by the way.
yeah, so one MC Orlando on Instagram. As we are setting up for Anna, and Anna, you can come on up. Two things. One, I do recommend that we do meet each other for coffee whenever we can. There is a Foxtail Coffee just right here.
Are you getting a kickback?
I go there a lot, but no, it's so close. This orange storage building right here. If you leave this plaza this way, instead of going to the street, turn right at the orange storage building, and then just go, basically don't drive on to Colonial, but it's the, the end of the building, it's right there on the corner. Go meet people there after this. I'm going to start making it a habit of that's where I'm going to go after 1 million cups and just kind of hang out and do open office. So if anyone wants to come hang out, I'm meeting Michael there in a bit. The other thing, so we were, Rupert and I, and Dan, and we were all meeting at
Fuel press.
Fuel Presso, where we meet on Friday mornings, and Sheila came with Anna. And Anna's just doing her own thing. She's playing a game, and Dan says, "What is it that you're playing?" And Anna says, "Oh, that's a game I made." Like everybody makes games. And she starts telling us all about it, and we're like, "That's interesting. What are you doing next Wednesday?" And so that's how we found Anna. So Anna is going to be our youngest speaker ever. Ever. So we're glad you're here.
Actually, before this, we had a 12-year-old, but yeah, she's
Oh,
definitely,
yeah.
she's definitely.
So we got it.
Her sister wants to present too. She's 8.
The one on the right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you do the color commentary.
If you get nervous.
Yep.
I just want to say proud mama moment, of course. My name's Sheila, and we have a lot of people here on Zoom from around the world here to support Anna today.
We have 32 people on Zoom.
And how many do you normally have?
10.
10. So I mean, literally, I know we got Switzerland in the house. I mean, like literally all over the world. So I can't thank you all enough who are here supporting Anna. This is a wonderful moment. So proud mama moment. Take it away, kid.
Okay, Anna.
So, how many of you have ever heard me speak before? Raise your hand. Not surprising.
Uh,
So my name is Anna, and I live by Walt Disney World. One of the cool things about where I live is that I can see Disney fireworks from my backyard, and I really love that. But today I'm going to tell you about why gaming shouldn't be a parent's worst nightmare. I'm referring to my daughter, she despises it.
okay.
And then I'm going to talk about a video game that I built. I'm still working on it. It's not finished, but I think it's pretty good so far. And then my YouTube channel.
Oh, sorry.
Did you know that the average gamer age is actually 35 and 46% of gamers are actually female? I think that's pretty cool because I wouldn't think that before because like when you go and search on a whole bunch of, when you search up gamers on YouTube, all you see is a whole bunch of guys. Gaming actually improves problem solving, coordination, and creativity, which is one of the reasons why it shouldn't be my mom's worst nightmare. Video game market is expected to reach $200 billion this year. And to give you a perspective on that, the gaming industry is larger than the movie and music industries combined.
Wow.
Now let's talk about my video. So my video game is called The Four Seasons Obby. It's about the 4 seasons, and you have to get to every different season. You're supposed to get to winter at the end. It's an obstacle course for children and adults. So what is an obby? The word obby is short for obstacle course. And when you build one on the platform that I'm using, you have to put a whole bunch of different pieces together to make one thing. So in my game, this is where you would start. To win the game, you have to go through multiple different obbies to get to the winter side of the game, and I think that it's like I had a really good time making the game. It's still not finished, so that means I get to have more good times making the game and finishing it. And there are 4 different spawn points. Spawn point is where you would appear in the game when you first log on to the game. They're all in spring because if you had one in every single season, then you ended up spawning in winter, then there's no point of the game. So there's like these small white houses and trees for just for people to be curious and have fun and walk around. I'm one of those people that just like to do random stuff with games. I just find every way to not do the game, basically. And then there's a big blue mansion in the game that has a maze inside that you have to get through to get to the first obby, which actually makes it more like a scavenger hunt, and you have to like find these different. And plus the walls are invisible, so you can't see them, which makes it even cooler. And then when you finally get to the obby, I'm not done with the obby, but you have to get over that glass wall and into the next season, and then you have to hit the checkpoint. So that, like, say you fall during the second obby, you don't have to go all the way back to spring. So moving on, all my gaming adventures and tutorials will be on my YouTube channel, and please be sure to like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss any of my videos. Or use the link to get to my YouTube channel.
People are scanning. Everybody got scanned, good. Well, she'll have one for the her website on the next one. We'll try that one, and you can go from her website to go.
And then these are my sponsors, and then in the middle I have my website QR code that, like my mom said, you can get to my YouTube channel from. Thank you for listening.
Questions?
So, as you know, I've been in the game industry a little bit. So, what coding basis do you use, or what, what environment are you in?
Well, first before it's. So I don't have to change any.
Okay.
And,
Can you tell us a little bit about Roblox?
so Roblox is like a game. So during the pandemic, signed me up for a whole bunch of online classes, and one of them taught me how to build video games on Roblox Studio. So that's how I learned about it.
Here's a great example what parents' role is. She guys every day and metahuman and every day.
Not quite every day, but it is an hour,
Okay.
an hour, one way.
That's the kid in our education system. That's what the- Curiosity. Is innovation. And a lot of us follow them. And they are going to be in the final. And the last competition, I encourage you to attend that. Then on 23rd of March, to learn a lot. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
So when it comes to gaming and the gaming industry, what are you most curious about?
Like I'm more curious about the stuff that like when I go into Roblox and look at the games that I didn't build, it's just a whole bunch of random games. Like I try and figure out what they're about, what I'm supposed to do in them, because some of them they don't even have a description. Which is very confusing, because really all of them are supposed to have a description. Some people cheat by, because you're really supposed to put a description in there. And if you don't put the description, some people say, oh, this is the game that I put, here's how to play. And then other people would just be like, hi, this is my description.
So you want to make the games better and like figure out.
I mean, you can't edit someone else's game, but you can like make something similar to their game and just make it better.
It's just amazing. What are your Wednesdays like? Wednesdays like as far as school is concerned? Are they free in the morning? There's almost 181 million cups all around the country. Everyone meets at 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, their local time. So you have a lot of time zones about. You probably can't do it during the school year, but when you're off, summer, stuff like that, get in the habit of doing, you can do 4 or 5 on a day, depending on what time zones. And you really, you're amazing for your age. It's incredible. The other, it's not really a criticism. This is trying to help you here. We can read what's on the board. Don't read it word for us. Explain it if you have. Most of it is self-explanatory to us. But you're not really helping us. You're just reading what we can already see. That's just a tip I'm presenting. Okay, you're amazing for 11 years old. So after a great start.
I have one question to you and one question to your mom. And to you, is what do you like in your mom? What you don't like in your mom? In terms of in this journey, this particular journey.
I mean,
In game development.
like she said when I first started, because for the longest time she wouldn't even let me get it. And then when she finally let me get it, because I had
understand
because-
I understand that
Well, when I did the class, I needed a Roblox account to be able to get Roblox Studio, so I had to sign into a Roblox account. So she said, okay, you can get Roblox, and then when you get Roblox, you can spend an hour on it. You can spend 30 minutes playing Roblox, and then you can spend the other 30 minutes playing making a game. So, but that never
I have a
never.
question to you. Give me 3 parent advice.
Three parent advice.
Three, but I mean, I also have.
Number one, I've learned the hard way with a lot of years, invest in yourself and turn your alarm off when you're done. Invest in yourself. When I went to go fix Anna, I realized there was a lot I needed to grow here. And as I grew myself, it automatically mirrored. So I despise video games, as she knows, but I'm here to support her. This is what drives her. This is what her passion is. I saw my childhood was not supported in this way. So I wanted to make sure she had a love of learning. So whatever drove her, whatever her superpower was, I wanted to make sure and amplify that. And she's taken that by the reins. So, I mean, she did all of this slideshow by herself. She took this initiative
In 4 days.
in 4 days. So she accepted that. She was in the emergency room on Thursday. She was in the emergency room on Thursday, dealing with stuff. She was out of school most of last week. Friday, she accepted this offer. And of course, just like mommy, she procrastinated to the last minute because she was up till midnight making these slides. She was sleeping. So good thing we were late, had extra nap in the car. So everything happens for a reason. And also Rachel, I think she was paired with your presentation today for a reason. It's spring break, happened to be a day open. I mean, it couldn't have fit better. Just like everything flows once you start investing in yourself. And life shouldn't be a push, push, push all the time. It should be a flow. And we're looking for that life of ease where we can still capitalize on our passions and our loves, but you can't do that until you find yourself and know, what your passion and what drives you. And she has been my greatest teacher.
I'd like to say one thing about the game industry. So, aside from being a $200 billion a year business, the average salary or compensation in the industry is $125,000.
That start there.
So, yeah, I know developers that are making 2 to 3 times that. So, yeah.
Pretty cool.
There's a future. And we need more women.
Yes.
I was just wondering what your favorite game. But how do you relax? What's your favorite game to play?
I like in Roblox, I like doing obbies that have like really bright, vibrant colors. That's what's calming to me.
When you were inside the mansion, it reminded me of the whole learning to memorize things. They call it memory palaces. And you put things in certain places, certain rooms, and in your mind, you go back to that palace going, okay, this was in this room, and then this is next. And that's something you can, I don't know how flexible the gaming development is, but if it could be some sort of memory thing that helps the clue, to move to the next level, that could really open up a lot of, educational training. It's like, wow, my memory's getting better playing this game. So I thought.
I think we've been waiting patiently.
Question for mom, are you a public speaker?
I am not. I actually have been a bartender most of my life, so I put up with, I think it's easier to put up with drunks than it is to children sometimes.
No, you're
Say,
saying.
yeah. I said I'm an unpaid psychologist, but I got into the world just at the height of the pandemic. It was either sink or swim, and I jumped. And the biggest thing I found is a supportive community. Eric has been saying, it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to do, just come speak, just come speak. I'm like, I don't know. And I finally got brave enough. I was going to come meet with him, tell him I was going to come speak, and someone hijacked the conversation, and here we go. So
Hi.
thank you so much. Thank you. Well, she makes it pretty easy. Makes it pretty easy. Dan?
I know it's the custom to ask the presenter a question, but I'd like to ask all the adults in the room, when was the last time you What happened? What's happened? She's learned to communicate. She's learned to present her ideas to a room of people, and she's going to lose her fear of presenting. So ask questions to young people.
Yeah, and the power, I mean, it empowers so much. When we left that day, I said, Anna, you just stepped into your power. This is what it means. You just commanded 3 grown men who were jumping over to see your computer screen to ask you questions. You have the power. We all have the power within us. And for her to be brave enough to come up and speak in front of everyone, and it's because the fuel, the energy of support, and it does take a village to raise a child. And I have not done this alone. I've had, just like I said, the communities here from around the world that I've built for us to support us in this wonderful way of thinking, open mind, curiosity, take the lead, visit your inner thoughts to be able to come out here and make a difference, because we all need each other, especially after the last couple of years, what's going on. And that's what's made the difference. And since I've gotten the confidence, it's spilled over to her. Of course, they're kids, like she had knots in her stomach. We're human, we were both nervous, and I was like, okay, I got to calm myself because I was just going straight to her. So we had ups and downs, highs and lows just over the last 4 days over this. She's like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? I've got a due date. I was like, well, just you said yes, that's a win. We celebrated every win on the way. No matter what happened today, it was a win because she said yes.
I want to add to what Dan, that's so critical. All my mentees all over the globe are younger than me, and they are my mentors. I learn from everybody. Something new. That's what I build my knowledge. I think that's a great idea. This is an amazing example. If the parents can start focusing on the future, kids are our future, believe it or not. And we are losing that right now in this country. So I think this is a fantastic example, and you should go all over the country, present everywhere.
Thank
all
you.
over 1 million cups. A lot of people can learn a lot very fast.
Thank you. And parenting is not given the credit it's meant to. Like, we are gifted as parents a job that is so special and not valued. And I'm so grateful that I was able to find the value in that and be able to harness, because I've become a professional parent, and it doesn't pay very well, but I know we have the biggest job to carve the next generation, to carve what our society is going to look like, and fueling into this has been the fuel for me. So, and it's wonderful. We can't feel any better. I feel high on life.
It pays well when they become great.
Yeah, we'll do it together. Luckily, they're old enough when I found it, because they said, you've got to get your children to this point by 7 years old, and then they're imprinted. And I started when my youngest was 7. I was like, oh, I already messed up. There's no going back. But, there's some people that never find this life. They never find these resources. They never find this information. So it's never too late.
I was just curious, what are your goals next? So are you interested to advertise this video game and get people to buy it when you're finished? Are you looking to build other projects? Are you doing this just as a hobby, or do you want to look into it as a career, those type of things?
Well, I'm doing it as a hobby, and I'm gonna make other games too, and I would post those how I make them on my YouTube channel for like tutorials. So like, I'm doing it as a hobby, but I can also I can post it on my YouTube channel, and it's been a lot of fun doing all this. Why are you asking that? Is it because you want to play them?
How much would you pay to play them?
There you go. Winning question. You'll get VIP treatment. That will work. You've been here from the beginning. Any other questions?
What would you tell your friends? What advice would you give your friends
to start their own business?
Like, I mean, I don't exactly consider this a business. I think this is more of just like making something big out of doing your hobbies. So just do what you love, and that can be a business.
Awesome.
To your child, Jim.
Yeah.
Go back to
So-
your child.
I have a final question for you, but I will say that you are fortunate to be in this room because this is the room filled with people who figured that out. Not as early as you did, but we figured out, what do we like to do? What would I rather do more than anything else? First. Second was, how can I make money at that? So I'm a writer. I love to write, and I'm fortunate that I get paid for doing the thing that I love. But I know so many people who they have never figured out what they love to do, and they never get to do it for a living. You know, there are people who are doctors and lawyers and they make a lot of money and they hate it. They got into it because their parents said, you need to be a doctor, you need to be a lawyer, and they didn't want to, but they got so much pressure. And so the thing that they love to do, maybe they love doing art, maybe they love making music, but they never have the chance to pursue that or to do the thing that they love. And so some people like computer programming, some people like writing, some people like event planning. And then they're fortunate enough to find that, hey, I can actually make money at this. So you figure that out now, when there are people in their 50s who still don't know that. So kudos to you. So the question is, what can we as a community do for you? And then I will ask Sheila the same thing.
Well, one thing is that help as much support as possible. If you scan my QR code on here, there's a way to support me on my website, and spread the word to all your friends, family, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
All right, Sheila, what can we as a community do for you?
Well, I don't want to steal her limelight. I will come have my own presentation, I promise. But for me, just continue to support as you have, support is everything. And that's what's allowed me to get to this point with Anna, and her to have the confidence with all my communities that have poured into her. And, like I said, I figured out I loved being a parent. I love being around my daughter, and that's what I wanted to, my daughter is the one's going to be coming up pretty soon. She wants to present, but it's so fulfilling to see them thrive, and it empowers me as well. So thank you guys all so much, and supporting her is supporting me. Yes. And I'll be back. Don't worry about it.
Thank you very much. That's right.
It's probably the most active chat we've had.
Most active chat.
67 people. So I'm sad at the fact that about half of you will not be back. But I think Anna's gonna be in charge of membership from now on. You're speaking every week. But next week, we will be hearing from Central Florida Tech Grove and Carol Ann Loague. We have a Loague, we have another Loague, so. And Dennis Poppy of Seed Funders. We're gonna be hearing from him, so hopefully you can all make it. If you are on the Zoom call, you can download the chat. If you want a copy of the chat, email me at erikdeckers@gmail, ERIK.deckers@gmail.com. I'll send you a copy of the chat. A lot of hand clapping emojis, so you'll definitely want to see that.
If I may add, Seed Funders is probably the most prolific investor and investment group in Central Florida.
Yep.
And that's from Tampa to Daytona.
So if you are looking for any kind of investment, capital venture, this is the week to be here. Join us on meetup.com. That's where, like I said, that's where we post our announcements every week, and where you can get the Zoom call for the meeting. And then finally connect with somebody that you met here today. There is a Foxtail Coffee, but I always promote independent coffee shops over big chain coffee. Because when you spend $1 at a local entrepreneur, 40 cents of that dollar stays in the community. If you go to Starbucks or the large chain, 13 cents stays in the community. So if you want to help Orlando grow and your community grow, shop local. Visit the local. Foxtail is a chain, but it's a local chain. They started here in Orlando, and now they're growing by leaps and bounds. And I think half of that is just on my money. So, so anyway, thank you all for coming, and we will see you next week.